Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Week I Review. My name is Amateur Analytics Analyst because today I want to talk about Google Ads, the other side of the equation that more popular folks on this platform use to pay their bills. Note, this is going to be very specific to my experience using Google Ads in an attempt to expand the reach of this channel. If you are looking for a comprehensive overview, this ain't it. Hundreds of hours of video are being uploaded to YouTube every single minute, and even though it is one of the most popular websites in the entire world, it is oh so easy to just get buried. And I don't particularly like promoting myself all that much. I don't even post about every one or even most of these videos on Facebook because I don't want to inundate my pretend virtual friends with this nonsense that my subscribers at least actively signed up for. I do tweet about them, but literally 0 people click on the links I post on Twitter. So a few months back, I was talking with a colleague about this whole thing, and he told me that I should buy some fake subscribers to boost numbers and that he would find me a service that would do it. I was genuinely offended by the suggestion on both a practical and a moral level. But around that same time, a new button appeared in the YouTube studio, Promote. I had never really considered the possibility of advertising my videos, but the appearance of that button coincided with an email offering me $100 in ad credit if I spent $50 in real money, which seemed like a pretty good deal. So I thought, even though I will not actively promote my videos, I do think they are worth people's time, so I will buy a few ads and see if I can't get people to agree. Worst case scenario, I will get a video out of it. I had planned to start with my review of the game Greece, but unfortunately, I made a big dumb error in that video that left me way too embarrassed to promote it. So instead, I went with my breakdown of a few royalty-free music licensing subscription services, which I think is a good video, and it took me a hell of a lot of time to make. And if we look at that video's analytics, yep, that's a start. This ad was the most expensive that I've done so far, and also the worst in terms of folks actually clicking on it. Both things I have learned useful lessons from. See, on YouTube, there are 2 types of ads. In-stream video, the pre and mid-roll that you might have seen on this video if I had 5 times as many subscribers, or discovery, which are the highly visible videos that show up in searches as an ad. Because I don't think that these videos in their entirety are conducive to the former, and the joke 5 and 15-second options I made were definitely not as funny in practice as they were in my head, I have gone exclusively with discovery. And what made that initial video so expensive was a lack of understanding on my part of how this whole payment system works. There's this bidding thing where you determine how much you are willing to spend on a given action, either cost per view, CPV, or cost per 1,000 impressions, CPM. I assume that on the other end, folks can do the minimum they will accept for an ad to be run against their video. I have stuck with CPV because I like the guarantee that it comes with. General awareness of the existence of the Week I Review is less meaningful than someone actually checking it out because I'm not selling anything, but it also fixes the cost. A well-run CPM ad could have a high click rate, ultimately resulting in a cheaper ad, or it could be the exact opposite, higher risk, maybe higher reward. Perhaps I'll try it out sometime. The ad targeting is kind of fascinating for someone who has absolutely no background in advertising or marketing. The number of options you have to select potential viewers is kind of exhausting, particularly since I don't know what my target demographic even is. So I typically ignore that kind of stuff and focus on interests and search keywords, which is even lengthier, but at least I feel like I understand. I like to get that click rate as high as possible, which doesn't matter per se with CPV, but gives me a sense of how well I've aimed the ad, so I have a new thing to improve on. Indeed, that first video had the worst of them all with a measly 1%. And I know part of why it happened because I targeted music as an interest, which resulted in a very niche video comparing licensing services being put up against like people searching for music videos. Now I'm more careful, but it is easier with something like my review of the very bad Netflix movie Bird Box. If I target movies as a general interest and tag the keyword Netflix, I'm pretty much set. I actually posted videos and ran ads on Bird Box and the Black Mirror Bandersnatch simultaneously, in an attempt to be on trend. These ads resulted in decent number of views, even though I went for a CPV of only 2 cents versus the 6 cents that I had gone with the music subscription. 2 cents is now my go-to CPV. But the thing is, as soon as the ads ended, those views flatlined and have barely moved since. They might be 2 of the highest viewed videos on this channel, but not meaningfully. My discussion of the competing Fire documentaries, on the other hand, is not too far off in video count, but only 257 came from the ad. The other 1,300 or so came organically. So what does that tell me? I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have done the Bird Box review 3 weeks after the fact. In any case, I've also stopped putting nearly as much money into ads as I did when Google's credits were doing the heavy lifting. Now that it's just me footing the bill, I am typically more in the $5 to $10 range than the $25 to $50 range, which gives a little boost in visibility without breaking the bank. Plus, a little boost can be enough to trigger a psychological component to this whole thing. Take the music subscription video. It's not like post-ad viewership has spiked, but it has been growing pretty consistently. And I do think the fact that it had passed 1,000 views is at least partly responsible. If you're searching through videos on YouTube for something specific, like a comparison of different licensing services, would you choose the one with 100 views or 1,000? I am typically going to go with the latter. And the ad was the literal differential there. So running ads that give myself a new, slightly higher baseline can make the channel seem a bit more popular to the people who care about that kind of thing. But this is fundamentally different from buying views on some unscrupulous internet marketplace, even if it sort of ends in the same place, because what I am really paying for are premium placement of my thumbnails. Folks who otherwise might not be subjected to my dumb face will now be forcibly confronted with it, and then they can decide of their own volition if it's the way they want to pass their time. Most people don't. It's definitely a small, almost insignificant advantage, but the video is clearly marked an ad, so it seems like a fair one to me. I actually changed some things about the way I handle my videos at the beginning of this year in direct response to an ad that I ran. It was on the Netflix anime Agretzko's Christmas special. Fewer than half of the viewers made it through the 9 seconds of intro. And I'll admit that it wasn't my best clickbait title, but that was a pretty rough awakening. And so I removed that entire opening paradigm, replacing it with me testing out my potential thumbnail faces. And then I went even further by cutting the first second of the opening drum fill. The intro is now 4 seconds long across the board. And then I pushed my initial thoughts to the video title, which is honestly the bigger change of the two. Would my Fire Festivals video have gotten the views it did without this name, which is actually scaled back from the original that I had planned? Not a chance. Would some of my earlier videos have done better if I had been a bit more creative in my naming? I'm sure. Oh well. This video on Salo, or the 120 Days of Sodom, definitely benefited from its title. I didn't actually run an ad on it, and yet it has just this past weekend dethroned the Netflix hating videos in terms of views, and it has long since destroyed them in watch time. Another metric it has beaten any other video in: subscribers gained. More than 11% of my subscribers have been folks who, I would assume, liked what I had to say about Salo. Another 10% were from one of my first 4 videos, actually, which started really strong but fell off when MoviePass finally left the public consciousness. That Bandersnatch review actually did all right there too, which leads to a question. Because almost every view on that video was ultimately paid for, does that mean I bought those subscribers? If so, how much did they cost? And here is where we get into the question of the practical value for me of running ads. Views are nice, I guess. We talked about the psychological benefit already, but it's actually kind of depressing on my end because most people who click the ads don't stick with the video, resulting in hella low watch times, which isn't great algorithmically and maybe part of why the Netflix videos tanked after the ads ended. This harsh reality could be offset by a growth in subscribers, hopefully the start of a beautiful viewership, but we will have to break out the calculator app on my phone and Excel on my laptop to figure out the average cost per subscription across the ads I have run so far to find out. To start, we need to look at the number of subscribers I received from each of the videos during the time the ad ran. I was a little surprised to learn that this only comes to 28, or about 13% of my total count, and only a few more than Salo has gotten me on its own, so not a great start. I then need to factor in that not every person who saw the video came from an ad, so we have to determine that percentage, number of views resulting from the ad divided by the total number of views during the duration, and then multiply the count by that. Round down, you get 26, but keep it up. We then divide that by the overall cost of ads thus far, $149, which equates to $5.65. Ouch. Even if you factor in that I got $75 in credit from Google, don't know what happened to the other $25, and so didn't really pay for half of the ads, that's still $2.81 for the ones I did buy, which is not a great return on investment if that was indeed how I was thinking of it, particularly considering that taking my colleague up on the offer for some fake subs would have gotten me a whole lot more for a whole lot less. While writing this, I looked up the going rate for a subscriber these days, and it seems to be about 10 cents on the high end, with other options running well below a penny. It's a whole lot less than what I'm doing, but I have a real problem with it. Look, my subscriber count is small enough that I still get actually excited when I see it tick up. There is a genuine satisfaction in knowing that someone decided that they wanted to see when this video was going to come out and took a couple of seconds to press a button saying so. Feel free to do that, by the way. They almost definitely weren't expecting this video in particular, but life is more exciting that way for them and for me. I get that YouTube is a job for a lot of people, and many, many more would like it to be that, and that you need a certain number of subscribers and engagements and etc. in order to get that underway. But cheating one's way to legitimacy on a platform built largely on perceived honesty is a bad thing done by bad people who are proving they don't deserve success here. So what have we learned? Running ads doesn't give me a particularly good return and is sometimes a frustrating experience. I actually had to call technical support because of an issue with views in the ads and views in YouTube Studio not matching up. And I was told that this is a known issue and has been for months. And I also had to dispute a video that got blocked, my Daniel Sloss video, because robots can't understand context. But I think I'll keep running them where it feels appropriate to do so. For example, there is a 100% chance that I'm going to run this one as an ad, because I think that's funny. And, in general, there are much worse things I could spend $5-ish on. To someone who's struggling financially and trying to grow, this doesn't really seem to be a great way to do it. But let's be honest, the entire foundation of the week I review is my ability to burn small amounts of money week after week. So running largely useless ads fits with my MO. Also, the genuine confusion in this comment is hilarious and something I want more people to feel. 6.1 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, that is great. If not, I'm sorry. If you want to see more, please subscribe. I've actually been working on this one for a while, but other things kept getting in the way that I wanted to talk about more. But I still felt like this was a video, worth doing. I hope to see you next week.